Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We have got a brand new LTM now live in Warzone known as Titanium Trials. Very similar to Iron Trials in a lot of ways. Of course, we've got increased health, all sorts of adjusted rules for this game, and the loadouts for this mode are going to be very specific, not necessarily ones you'd see in standard battle royale because the updated health and the updated rule set. So today I wanted to break down the top 5 best loadouts you want to be running specifically for Titanium Trials. As we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe with those notifications turned on, because every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD. And also all weekend long, my G Fuel discount code Immortal is boosted to get you 30% off your entire order. So if you want to grab anything at all from the G Fuel site, now is the best time to do so. Link for that will be down in the description below. So when it comes to loadouts here, with 400 health, you really want to be mindful of damage per mag and what's going to be able to compete in a squad sized mode, right? Because that extra health in a squad, it's increased for everyone. So squad fights are going to be way different than any other mode that we've had in Warzone past. So magazine size and damage is really important in this mode. So you'll notice in a lot of the loadouts we're focusing on that. Real quick, I want to cover the perks and equipment for this mode. I'm still running my basic perk setup, Serpentine, Overkill, and Combat Scout, because I'm a little bit of a rat there for that one, but this is going to work really well for this mode, especially with Serpentine helping out with those flesh shots, because you only have 100 base HP here. You have 300 armor and 100 base health, so Serpentine's going to be very strong. That said, so is Tempered. Now, of course, we want to use Overkill to get 2 weapons, but I would absolutely have an extra loadout on there, sort of a regain loadout or an alternative loadout that has Tempered equipped after you get your first one. So that way, if you have the chance to grab it, you can, because this is going to be wildly important in gunfights for armoring up and getting back to that full 400 HP. I also, for what it's worth, think stims are going to be really strong in this mode. You could also use your choice of whatever other throwable you might like, stuns, flashes, snapshots, whatever the case may be. And of course, we got throwing knives on there for those insta finishes, because there's going to be a lot of self revives going around as well. So just take all that into consideration. But this first setup here is a combination of the UGM-8 and the Armaguerra. We got plenty of mag capacity on both these guns. The damage is really strong, and you got all distances covered. Long range with the UGM. We also have close range, obviously, with the Armaguerra. So you're covering all bases here. Really consistent setup. First up, we are going for the MX silencer, keeping us off the radar, helping out with that range and that control some. I'm also going full auto on the UGM now. It is super slow, I'm going to be honest with you. The LMG aspect of it is very noticeable, but burst just really is not the wave anymore, and this barrel is meant for movement. So we got the 736 barrel on there. We are, of course, running the 3 to 6 times optic for all our ranged fights per usual. You certainly got options for the stocks here, because honestly, if you want a strafe build, the YR is going to be solid. Forte for that better initial firing control is not bad either. The Anchor for that better control during sustained fire is also a pretty solid choice, right? So either Forte or Anchor are my standouts here. A bit of a different build, you could use the YR. We're gonna go for Anchor for the time being. For the underbarrel here, we're just gonna go for Carver to help out with that control. For the magazine, again, you got some options. The basic 100 round box here, that standard extended mag, would work just fine. You could also go for something like the British 75 round box though, which is better control, better fire rate. You just have to keep in mind that that fire rate is going to be a little bit iffy with that damage per mag only having 75. So to me, 100 round extended mags are more of a consistent way to go. We've got lengthened on there. We've got hatched on there yet again. Perk 1, we're going to end up going for tight grip. Keep in mind, this is recoil during sustained fire, as is Anchor, so no overlap there, no crisscross there that's going to mess things up. And then perk 2, we always have fully loaded, especially in this mode. Ammo is very important, so we want to go ahead and we want to run that. Then for the Armaguerra, this is going to be your standard meta loadout right now. We're going to go for the Bodhi 315 barrel and the recoil booster. We've also got Slate Reflector on there. We're going to go ahead and run the skeletal stock for that better strafe speed, better mobility in general. We got skeletal for better mobility yet again. The 9mm 60 is going to work just fine here for this build and for this mode. Plenty of ammo to go through and fight, you know, 1 or 2 players at a time without having to have any greater concern about having to stop and reload. We've got some Sonic to stay off the minimap. We also have taped on here for that better movement for our rotations. Perk 1 is going to be hard scope for better control, then quick on there for that better sprint speed. These 2 weapons combined, like I said, got you covered in all areas. You got something for every fight, and they both work really well. Next up, we've got the Bren, we've got the Marco. This is sort of the same scenario. Great damage per mag, great range here on the Bren. Marco, phenomenal for close range for your rotations because the Bren is obviously a lot heavier, so you got something for every type of engagement here. It just comes down to, oh, are you more comfortable with the Bren and the Armaguerra or the Marco and the UGM-8 or any of the other builds that we're showcasing here today, right? So for the Bren, we're gonna go for the MX silencer per usual for that better range, keeping us off the map. We're also gonna go ahead and run either the Royal or the Scepter barrel here. Honestly, Scepter is feeling pretty good with this new build here after all the nerfs that the Bren's received over the course of time. As always, we've got the 36 times optic on there, no surprise. For the stock here, I'm going for the BH for that added control, just gonna make it more of a laser beam, of course. We've also got Carver on here. There's mainly just vertical control here. Something very important, you wanna use the 100 round drums. Using the 40 here like we have on previous meta builds, not at all the option for this mode. 100 is the way to go. It's slow, it's heavy, but it's gonna get the job done. We've got lengthened per usual. We've got hatched on here as well. Perk 1, gonna be tight grip, better control during sustained fire, no overlap yet again, no crisscross to mess anything up with that. And then perk 2, fully loaded once more to maximize that ammo in this mode. So obviously we haven't used the Bren in quite some time, but for this health and for this specific LTM, it should work really, really well. Then for the Marco, just like on the AG43, we're going for more of our standard meta build. We've got the recoil booster. We also have the 240 barrel for that better fire rate, helping out that TTK. Slate reflector. We also have the FR stock on there per usual. The skeletal underbarrel. We're gonna go for the 64 round drums, which just so happens to work perfectly for this mode, but it's also the main meta magazine, right? Subsonic per usual. We've also got taped on there as well, no surprises. We've got gung ho so we can fire while sprinting, and as always, quick on there to help out our mobility just a little bit more. Another deadly duo, the Bruen from MW, and then also the Vanguard PPSH, one of the best magazine capacity SMGs in the entire game, works perfect for this mode. And the Bruen, great damage per mag over range, also relatively straightforward, slow and heavy yet again, but it's gonna work just fine because of our magazine capacity and all the other basic aspects the Bruen has with its damage fall off and everything like that. So here we got the monolithic suppressor. We also got the summit barrel here for the best range, velocity, and control. You want to go ahead, run that VLK 3 times optic. We're always running that T-pose reticle. We've got the commando foregrip, and then usually we'd be running these 60 round mags on here. Not the case with this mode. You also don't need 200. The standard 100 round mag that this comes with by default is perfectly fine. So you can mess around with this last attachment. I'd personally go for tack laser, but if you wanted something like sleight of hand, you could go for that. If you wanted something like maybe some aim walking movement speed, the ultralight stock wouldn't be bad. You could even run a stippy grippy if you wanted to. Certainly some choices there. This is my preferred build for this mode in particular. Then the Vanguard PPSH, we're just going for our standard ADS build, right? Recoil booster. You could go for the 300 barrel or the light barrel. If you want strafe speed, go for light. If you want control and just consistency, go for the 300. Totally comes down to your preference. We've also got the ISO 3P iron sight on there. Remove stock for a better movement, just for rotations, close range engagements, all the usual stuff there. Skeletal for better movement speed. Durango 71 round mag, so obviously that's going to work fine for the squad engagements. Subsonic and taped as always, that deadly duo for the subs. Perk 1, we got tight grip to help out with some of that control, and then no surprises here, quick on there to round things out. Great for close range, great for rotations, and you can fight anyone in the world with a 71 round mag here and be totally fine. Another phenomenal combination, the XM4 and the Blixen. The XM4, really solid damage per mag for a rifle, obviously not as slow as some of the LMGs that we've featured up until this point, also has decent control and really good range as well. And the Blixen, another top close range SMG, of course, and you got decent mag size here, a little bit less than some of our other choices, but enough to get the job done. The XM4 setup going to come as a surprise to no one. We got agency suppressor, the task force barrel, the field agent grip. We got our 60 round mag here, which works fine for this mode, and then also the 3 times optic per usual. Standard copy and paste Cold War rifle setup, but it's working just fine here. Then for the Blixen, we're going to go ahead and run our standard meta setup as always. We got the recoil booster, the F3 barrel for some of that better control, better velocity. We've got the slate reflector per usual. We got the remove stock to help out with our mobility alongside skeletal for more of the same. Now, you could definitely use the 72 round 9mm extended mag here. It's just your basic extended mag, no added properties. 54, because it's not going to like increase the fire rate to some insane amount, would work as well. It's going to be easier to shoot. You get some headshot damage in there too. That's going to be my personal choice, but you could definitely flip-flop to see which one you are liking more. Subsonic, per usual, taped, more of the same. Perk 1, gonna end up going for fleet for that better movement speed and weapon swap quickness. And then also, speaking of quickness, we got quick on there too. And then finally, one that you might not have seen coming, the Cold War AK paired with the Owen gun. The damage of the AK is still so good. The recoil obviously is not as good as it used to be, so it's going to take some effort to use, but again, not as slow and bulky and bogged down as some of the other LMGs. And the Owen gun, great damage as well, great magazine size, so you get the best of both worlds with this loadout too. The setup here, surprise, surprise, gonna be the same as over on the XM4. Groove suppressor, RPK barrel, the Spetsnaz grip on there, the 60 round mags, and of course, the 3x optic. You just got to get used to that control. Once again, after you master that pattern, you are all good to go. And then for the Owen gun, we're going for a mix of the best TTK setup, and then also, of course, we want decent mag size, so we're going for recoil booster, no barrel here. None of these are particularly incredible with our magazine that we're pairing it with, which of course is going to be the Kerr's 60 round drums for the better damage, velocity, range, going to make it good for close range, even some mid range, and of course it's a sub, so it's nice and agile. We got slate reflector on there. We also got remove stock for that better movement speed. For the underbarrel here, honestly, you got some choices. There is some bounce here, so I'd probably want to go for something that's going to help out with control. I do like hand stop on here just because Carver's going to slow down that ADS a little bit, and I'm not super huge on that. You could try steady, but its control benefits aren't necessarily anything crazy. We always have some sonic on there and tapes, no surprises. Perk 1 here is going to be acrobatic for that better movement and sprinting speed, and perk 2, same old, we got quick on there. But honestly, the diversity of the loadouts in this mode is particularly interesting. A lot of setups, a lot of weapons that you wouldn't normally see are going to work really well here with this increased health. But that being said, those are my preferred loadouts for Titanium Trials. That's going to wrap things up for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, because every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.